Lindsey Graham got very grumpy in Munich whenever he was asked a pretty basic question. Hey, you remember when you tried to illegally overturn an election and you were calling Georgia officials, pressuring them to overturn the results? Lindsey was in on that. Now, I'm adding a lot to the question, but the subtext of the question is Lindsey Graham participated in that scheme. Trump tried to steal a free and fair election. Lindsey then went in front of the investigatory relevant people, the authorities, and said, I'm so grateful I can be here. Trump would have believed any conspiracy to substantiate his claims about the election. He would have believed aliens stole the election from him. And oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here. And then went out publicly and was like, they're railroading, they're ramming a rail and on my man Trump. And we knew, he was lying. But with that history, can the American people be sure that the midterms will be a free and fair election? And Lindsey gets very grumpy and then somehow very quickly transitions it into saying, let's go to war with Iran.
Your solidarity.
You know what? That's a great question that I'm going to put you on. I'm going to put you on the spot, Senator, and ask you a question about American elections.
We're going to have them.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure that President Trump is going to...
The fact you asked me that is really offensive, but yeah, we're going to have them.
Okay. But you know why? Because they've already...
I don't know why.
Good. Well,
I don't know why. I don't know why anybody would ask me that.
Well, because
quite frankly,
it's a big story.
You're missing a lot's going on. I like you. Let's talk about...
But you can convince everybody, you can assure Americans...
Okay, let's watch more in a second, but look at how grumpy he gets. What do you mean? Okay, Lindsey, why would she ask you that question? Let me tell you. You and your man, I don't know what do you call it, your boss or the person you've sworn allegiance to, y'all tried to steal an election in 2020. That's what happened. Fake electors, trying to get local officials to do fraud, trying to overturn unilaterally results. So you tried to steal an election. You failed. Whoops, but you did. And then do you remember it got so bad that even you couldn't stand by your golf buddy anymore and you went, enough is enough. Meaning you were out. I'm out. The election wasn't stolen, right? That whole thing. My accent is horrible and I apologize. I lost it. I used to have a Lindsey. I lost it. But so that happened in 2020. And then, more recently, Trump has been saying that his Republicans should take over states voting in blue states that he doesn't like the results in. Then they started talking about sending masked ICE agents to certain polling locations. Then Trump started to try to leverage to get the voter rolls turned over from certain states to the federal government. And then there's plenty of reason to question, given Trump's track record, will he engage in funny business? Not that it would work. Not that we can't overcome through our democratic institutions, but he definitely is the type of person who would try, and he's been foreshadowing that very clearly. So don't get this, why would you even ask me that? Just the quickest pause to request that you click the subscribe button, the simplest, easiest, freest way, completely free, to support the work that we do. Right below the video, click that subscribe button. Back to the video.
Okay, but you know why? Because they've already...
I don't know why.
Good. Well,
I don't know why. I don't know why anybody would ask me that.
Well, because
quite frankly,
it's a big story.
You're missing a lot's going on. I like you. Let's talk about...
But you can convince everybody, you can assure Americans and others that it'll go as usual.
That only people worried about us not having elections, you can foot in a phone booth.
Okay.
You can foot in a phone booth. That would be a very, very big phone booth if that's the case, Lindsey, because I'd say half the country at least is nervous about the upcoming elections.
About us not having elections, you can foot in a phone booth.
Okay.
We're going to have an election.
Glad to hear it.
And you know what? Republicans could win, but we got to up our game. Right now, looks like we'll lose the House, maybe keep the Senate. Then in 28, we'll have another election, and we'll have another one and another one, another one. God willing. Now, here's what, go back in time. If you could go back.
Wait, why'd you need to say God willing then? Wait. There's no reason to believe we would not have an election or that the election would be tampered with. And so I'm just praying, please, Lord, make these elections free and fair. Wait, I thought you said there was nothing to worry about. Lindsey.
In time to Munich, What would you have done differently? You wouldn't have done the deal, peace in our time. I think about this a lot. I think the likelihood of getting peace in our time with the Ayatollah is about the same as Hitler, because he's a religious Nazi, and the other guy was a
Nazi.
wanted master race. You can't accommodate Putin because he wants all of Ukraine. You might work a deal with China, but you got to know who your adversary is. Your adversary is a religious fanatic that
He's going all over the map. Do you even know what he transitioned to? He's talking about why we need to go to war with Iran. Whoa. Could you give us a warning when you're going to transition that quickly? You transitioned so quickly, you shouldn't be playing in women's sports. No, I'm kidding.
But you got to know who your adversary is. Your adversary is a religious fanatic that dying is first prize. So if I could go back in time, I'd tell people Hitler actually meant it. He wrote a book, Let's Kill All the Jews. Every day they say things that they mean. I believe the Ayatollah time has come because what he's delivered for the Iranian people. And all we need is the courage of our convictions. I cannot promise you exactly what the day after will be. But if somebody had killed Hitler in 1935, it would have probably been better. If this regime falls, the day after has promise. If it stays in place, the day after is going to generationally destroy the Mideast.
So I don't do the like smearing everyone as a warmonger who just lusts for war. I think a lot of people oversimplify their political analysis to be like, well, this person must just love war. Obviously, people advocating for military intervention think they're doing it for most of them. Maybe not some politicians, but your average person thinks they're doing it for a just cause. They think that the trade-off is good, the cost-benefit analysis is worth it. So it's not like there's just bloodthirsty people all around us, or at least I like not to believe that. But if you were to put someone in the category of like they've never seen a war they don't love, it's Lindsey Graham. He's always wanting war. He got out after we invaded Venezuela. He was like, now Cuba, now Iran, now Mexico. Like he just already had a list of other countries he wanted our military to go into. And so I'd put him on a lesser trustworthy rung of his reasoning, because I think that the disasters we've seen with U.S. military intervention, not that every single one has been, but the ones that we have seen, oh baby, he's been rooting them all on. And there would have been about 10 more of those if we'd listened to him all along the way. And as much as I want to see the current Iranian regime collapse and something else be created, we should have learned our lesson that we can't just go do that with our military. Hopefully that happens within Iran. Hopefully we can put pressure that can help facilitate it. I think there's more subtle ways that we could support more pro-freedom advocates, etc. And I'm for that. But bombing our way to turning a country into something that would be better for its people or better for our interests, all too often is even more disastrous than what was there before. And so I have lots of hope and ambitions for the Iranian people. Yes, the regime they currently have to live under is horrible. And Lindsey has an issue with thinking that just missiles and bombs is the solution all the time. And it's not. And we've learned that from people like Lindsey Graham being wrong about it.